Hello. Thanks for being here and welcome my guests, Amanda and CDT. Thanks for being here as well. I'm really happy that you guys decided to join me tonight.
Hey, how are you?
Good.
Thank you for having me and us. I'm glad to be here with you guys, as always.
So tonight, I think Alex Erickson was going to be joining us a little late, but since we have Amanda and Kelly here, I figured we'd kind of get the ball rolling a little bit. And hi, Pink Dahlia and Demon Child, Insanely Confused. Kelly, thank you for the PayPal Cash App. Thank you so much. And thanks for being here, everyone. KF. So pretty much I just wanted to hold on. The trolls in chat already.
Don't we love the trolls? Demon's here already, so main troll.
Number
My
one.
favorite troll. All right, there we go. Hi, Karen. Kez Chick. So, as everyone knows, Summerwell's still missing. She's about to be 6 years old and hasn't been seen since, June 15th of last year, 2021. Pretty much everyone is still a suspect, according to law enforcement's last statement, which I believe was November, from the sheriff, at least. If I'm wrong, correct me, because I know that TBI put out a statement, but it was very minimal, in information. But no one's been cleared as far as I know.
I always like to remind people that one person was cleared. It was the neighbor down the hill because he was out of town and he actually had a red truck. So it was big that they were trying to get him figured out when he was there, but he was out of town for work. So one neighbor down the hill was excluded.
Oh, thank you. I wish there were more people that they've kind of come out and said they're clear, especially the parents and the grandmother, who we still haven't really heard much from. Did you guys see that Crime Stories Obsessed had a live stream with something about Grandis, I think? I don't know. Maybe chat knows what I'm talking about.
I did not.
Hi,
No.
Carolina.
Yeah, I haven't seen that.
Maybe
either.
it was old.
I
and
know
it was-
at one point, didn't she have messages between her and Grandis, something like that?
Oh, yeah. Okay. That must have been what I'd seen.
I know Alex did a live that had some of her messages. She's had a few leaked messages, but she doesn't come out and say anything herself.
And Grandis pretty much said she didn't hear the scream. So,
one thing I find rather interesting is there's been a lot of talks about NDAs, which are non-disclosure agreements with people that go up on the hill. And most of them have said that the non-disclosure agreements basically cover anything that happens on the hill while they're there, and mostly covering Grandis, like that nothing that is seen or said about her up there comes out, which I find so weird.
That is very weird. Yeah, I hadn't heard that. So do you think it's mostly Grandis who pushed for that? I mean, is there...
I think it has something to do with their PR person, who is
Right.
a PI person, which I think is kind of smart, so they can be free up there. But I just felt it was really weird that they emphasized that it's mostly to cover Grandis.
That is interesting.
I wonder if it has anything to do with maybe Rose's investigation also.
That could be.
I don't know, if she's linked or to any of that, as far as if she was last to talk to her or anything like that. I don't know, which we sort of kind of get into a little bit in one of the pictures later in the stream. But yeah, Rose, I don't really hear many details about her case. Even though there is so much Summer Wells coverage, I feel Rose sort of gets lost in the mix and still is a missing person.
Alex says she has a quick video on her channel about Rose. I have one as well. And I do know that Grandis, she wasn't the last person to see her, but she was one of the first people contacted about it.
Okay. Interesting.
I just think it's very, again, interesting. I feel like we use that word a lot, but the fact that Grandis hasn't publicly spoken. I mean, I know people have different thoughts on that and reasons as to why, but I mean, she was the adult who was allegedly, with Summer the entire day and saw Summer walk into the house. I would assume she's sitting on the camper steps needing her knee brace fixed. And she's just silent. There's been no public interview in over 7 months.
And before Summer went into the house, she was the last person to really talk to her because she took her into the camper to give her a piece of candy. And we've seen her correspondence, so she definitely says it happened.
And with all the talk about what type of candy or Skittles was in the truck and all that, it's interesting, like you said, that everyone said she went in to get a piece of candy from grandma. But even people who have been to the property and stuff, I'm just kind of realizing this, like no one has ever asked, like, what kind of candy, or, do you have any, or can we see, or, it's just like very strange when you think about like those details. Like I wonder if law enforcement confiscated whatever, like candy stash or the Skittles in the truck. I don't know.
And I do know that one time when they visited Candace, I believe it was Chris McDonough, that one of the rules was they couldn't go into Grandis's camper.
Right. Or the sheds.
Or the sheds, yeah.
Strange. But I guess pretty much, the certain things are, and that's the thing, is I have various clips. I like to link the channels that I use and who join me on my live streams in my description box. Some of them I don't link because I just don't know if like they would be offended if I like link their name to my channel. Like, if they have opposing views and all that, like I hope they don't mind that I at least credit them on the screen. But these are like just clips, and this has a Christmas background. So that sort of gives you like a reference of how long ago this screenshot was saved in my thing. But the banner, actually, if I remove us, it says, let me just read it. It's a comment that was put up on the screen. And again, I don't really know much about Jodie Sue, but I know other people do. So I like, to message my mods and you guys about her and get a feel in the live chats what people pretty much think about her. And I noticed this comment: Jodie's behavior is not that of a stable person. Let us take notice of that. She seems to be a liar and a backtracking storyteller. So I don't know like your guys' opinions on Jodie so far, but from what I'm gathering, a lot of people have said that she doesn't really seem genuine.
I've listened to a lot of her interviews. I'm not sure if she doesn't seem 100% genuine. It's just, she says a whole lot of nothing to me. It's just, they ask her questions and she answers like always in a roundabout way, kind of the word salad thing. I can never really get a full sentence out of her that I understand or believe. And then the only times that she comes through to me is when she's trying to throw jabs at Candace. And personally, I catch those and I'm like, that's weird. Like one that sticks out to me the most is she said, when I was planting flowers, because I was planting real flowers. And I'm like, that's weird. And another one is she said she had her purse with her when she went to go look, and that like she kept her purse with her almost intuitively. So she was kind of insinuating so she wouldn't lose it around Candace.
Interesting. Yeah, I feel the same with Jodie, where she talks and I'm actively listening to her, but then I come away not retaining what was said. Like you said, a lot of word salad. And so, yeah, I haven't followed her super closely. I have seen comments, though, where people are saying just that they don't trust her. Her stories have changed. Again, I haven't verified all of it, but I do think she's inserted herself big time into this case. I mean, she has spent hours on different panels. She does her own videos now on Facebook, but yeah, she's somebody who I really would like to listen more to, because she was very close. And then, we have her saying the scream. And if she is not telling the truth, even one story change, you wonder why. I mean, yes, she has health issues. Could she be under the influence of things, and that's why the story changes? Or is there more to it? But she's just hard to follow, I guess.
Extremely hard to follow. Like Lisa saying below, she confuses me. And I get that same feeling. Like, I don't want her to confuse me. I want to understand her, but I feel like it's just a whole lot of mumbo jumbo. And she's supposed to be saying a lot of important things. Like, she talks about the scream, she saw lights, she heard a car door or a truck door close. But in the sense, like, when I want to gather it all together, I almost feel like, just like everybody else, it's not a cohesive story. Like, you can never really get a full story out of Candace about the events that happened that afternoon. I feel it's the same thing. And I don't know if that's something that naturally happens when an event like this happens and you're not involved. But at the same time, I feel like I would be like scripted. When something happens and you know what happened, you just say it how, in a good sequence of events. You're not kind of all over the place. And that's why I feel most of these people are. They're just all over the place with the events that happened that afternoon.
Yeah, I agree. And thank you, Alex, for joining us. And thank you, Nikki, for becoming a member. I really appreciate everybody being here tonight. And yeah, I pretty much, the whole thing about her hearing the scream and Candace and Grandis not hearing it magically is sort of a jab at Candace right off, when you think about it in a way, because Jodie, remember, she came out with that news interview months later, and it was sort of like, why are you coming out now type of feel, even though like there'd been talk about the scream prior briefly. It was sort of like red flag that she inserted herself, like, and then came out later about the scream on the news after, at that point, Candace had pretty much said, and Grandis had come out, didn't hear the scream. So it is interesting that she seems to be sort of like not aligned with Candace, but I don't know much about anything she's saying. I don't know how people watch her. I was hoping you guys could like give me I've tried to watch her, and you guys know, like, I've been watching Andrew Hiltz, and I speed his videos up because sometimes, it's a lot of like BS, mumbo jumbo, but every now and then I hear something and it makes my ears perk up. So I continue. But for some reason, even if I speed up Jodie Sue, I'm just like, what is she talking about? Like, why am I not understanding this? So I don't know. I guess that in itself is strange. Any thoughts, Alex?
Amber, oh my gosh, so you made me laugh so much, because I'm the exact way. I'll watch her and like few minutes at a time, and I'm just like, huh? Like, what was just said? But first, let me say thank you for having me, and I'm sorry that I was late. But once I saw you guys started, we're sick here, and I was like, I'm gonna take some aspirin and get situated, get a drink, so I'm in good shape now. But yeah, thank you for having me, and yeah, I don't know about Jodie Sue. I'm about to do like a full dive. You guys are welcome to join. I want to do like an all things Jodie Sue and learn all about it, because I've watched things about her and I've paid attention, like when the scream happened and things like that. But other than that, I don't know much about her. I've kind of been focused on everybody else. So I don't know. I don't have anything to add there, but I did want to make sure and tell you guys thank you. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Well, I'm excited that you're going to do more digging, because I know in our private chat, we've sort of briefly touched on her, and I don't have much to add. And it's, I don't want to not examine somebody because they're hard to understand, so I'll power through. But I've sort of been starting with the people closest to Summer and working my way out, not realizing as I'm working out, it's like a lot of people when you think about it. And everyone's sort of wondering and reaching out, wondering to Andrew if they can get a hold of Jose, You know, like Jose is like a wanted person right now on YouTube.
Yeah, I agree. And I'm the same way. I'm just like, I started, and there's so much with those closest to her, right? We could dig for like ever on just the people immediately around her, mom, dad, grandma. Then we go like Hunter, the people that were, I don't know. It's just, it's so much. It's hard. I'm sure Amanda probably knows a lot about her. I just have a feeling because you usually are like know things that I haven't seen yet.
I try, man, but I don't speak Tennessee, and she's like Lisa said, she confuses me. I really try to absorb what she's saying, but I find myself just, I'll find myself on TikTok 10 minutes later. I'm like, dang it, I was supposed to be listening to the interview.
That is exactly what I do too. That is so funny.
Hi, Roxanne. Thanks for being here. Yeah, no, Alex, everyone here is sick now too. As you know, I pretty much put a little announcement, and I think that's why I've been sort of like not posting as much, because these last few days I've been tired, but for no reason. But I had to do it tonight, and the clips I put together isn't really that long, but I know that we like to talk, so let me start them going, because I know that we could just keep going. And I feel like there was something I wanted to add about Jodie Sue, but I can't remember at this second, but I might in a minute.
Just sit there and talk for probably 30 minutes, and then I thought, well, that's when I called Candace, and she said she was still waiting on a prescription or something at the lake with the kids and all. And I thought, well, hell, I might as well work late.
So again, this is just sort of a recap. I'm not sure which exactly the live stream was, but yeah, thank you, Amanda, for linking that. And any of my other mods, if you can link anyone's on panels channel and anyone that I've credited in our little clips, whenever you get a second, that'd be great. And so what stood out to me in this little talk with Benny is Don is referring to that day, and he's just said, I called Candace and she was waiting on a prescription. For some reason, they keep referring to the horse pond as a lake. What is with that?
I think that's just them. I think that's just what they would call it. I don't think they would really refer to it as the horse pond.
Okay.
But I know what you're going to point out.
And we just sit there and talk for probably 30 minutes.
That he says kids, that she was there with kids.
I noticed that too.
And that's the thing is, that's what I wanted to say, and which is good, because everyone on the panel has different opinions and everyone balances each other out, which is why I wanted, why I asked you guys up. And sometimes I clip things or I'll hear something and I'm like, maybe I'm just, overthinking it, but I'm like, I'll see what everyone else feels. At first I heard the kids and I was like, well, maybe he just means like Hunter and Summer. But it just still is sort of strange.
No, he's saying he had to go ahead to stay at work later because the kids were with Candace. That's what I hear.
And I do want to add that swimming hole is, so it's a river. It's like a river / I don't know. It's not like a big river, but anyways, it's where the water's kind of stopped up. But where they went is not, there's actually like a public swimming area. Because Coat of Many Colors has went up there and taken video and different things. And where they went off to like the side in the little, it is a more wild place. I mean, it's not for people, you know what I mean? They went to a place that is private on purpose.
To me, it always looks like a makeout spot. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
No, you're fine. No, I feel like it was purposely picked as not the public.
Oops. I turned my camera on. I look like crap, but I didn't mean to do that. I meant to unmute it and say yes.
You could never look like crap, for one.
Oh my gosh.
So don't even worry about that, cutie.
Thank you.
But thank you
yes,
for the
Hunter
super
and
sticker. I appreciate that. And I just feel like that little area for her to swim at was sort of, I'm feeling like this was premeditated. I don't know your guys' thoughts or, whatever, but for some reason, as one of the things on my list of why I feel it's premeditated, it is that it was like this secluded, like not very public swimming area that she was brought to. And we see it's very empty, even in the little TikTok video we see.
I'm still not even convinced Grandis was there when they were there, like swimming.
I agree.
I'm starting to question. At first, I didn't question it. I just assumed, yeah, okay, Grandis, got out of the truck and stood or sat around while they did their little swimming thing. But then when you really think about it, H doesn't seem to really give that detail. And then her knee, they just went to the ER, the hospital, the emergency room early in the morning, and she's allegedly in this pain from the knee. And, you're walking down grass and there's potential, you kind of have to have balance. I don't know. That's just my opinion. And then they get down there. It's like, is she just standing there? Is she sitting? Did they bring a chair? I mean, I don't know. I just really think I go back and forth if it was premeditated. I think Summer was not in a good situation because of her parents, basically. And then I don't know what happened that day exactly, but I don't know. I'm getting off topic. But yeah, the swimming hole scenario is interesting to kind of think about because you have H saying fishing, and then in an interview, Candace says we never planned on going fishing or swimming, and then it's just a lot. So
I agree. But one thing I'd love to point out is I have a lot of videos of Summer swimming in shallow water. So it appears to me that she was a swimmer. She liked to be in water. So I could understand why her mom would want to kill some time with letting her swim. The timeline is a little wonky to me. Like 10, 15 minutes for a swim is not enough time. I personally, as a mom, would be like, hell no, you're not going to go swimming for 10, 15 minutes. You'll just stand around and look, maybe put your feet in it.
Right. I mean, like Kelly has said before, swimming is a big event. Like you got to get them in the bathing suit. You got to get their towel. You have somewhere to put the wet clothes, and where do they change, this and that. It's a big ordeal. And just to do it for that short amount of time is suspicious in my book. And I know what you mean about going back and forth about premeditated. Like, I don't know if the crime itself was premeditated or if it's just those events that day seem very staged to me for some reason. Pink Dahlia, thank you so much. I appreciate that.
One thing I will say is they were there long enough to finish a tall can of Twisted Tea.
Right. And something bad can happen in like the blink of an eye, or, I don't know. I just speculate what the whole reason was there. Like you said, it looks like a makeout spot. I'll just leave it at that.
Alexa says, I don't even think Summer had a towel. I don't remember them saying anything about a towel. I remember them saying that she had to sit on a pillow so she wouldn't get the truck wet, which makes me think there was no towel.
Yeah.
And yes. And I will say, I feel like, Candace may not necessarily have the level of care for her children as we do. I know I would never want my child to have to get in the car still wet without a towel and changed and comfortable, or at least, dried off a little bit. But Candace may not care about getting the truck, Summer, and Summer has to, she didn't give a shit. She's doing whatever, her mind's wherever.
Yeah.
But yeah, the pillow thing, where did they change? I don't know.
Yeah, and that it's 100. I mean, to me, there's no other thing that makes sense besides that's why they went there, to hang out for a second party and probably make out, hook up while, Summer was playing. Because then you go back to, I had talked about this recently, and I know I showed at least you two, Amber and Kelly, the the old Facebook post, that video that girl did that shows like when he says he's in a relationship and she's like, wait, what? With who? Game over. Like all these emojis and stuff. Weird stuff that doesn't seem like, I know I'm 32 and I'm not,
Yeah.
I would never treat
Red
someone
flags.
that. Yeah. It just, too weird. It's shady.
It's too hard to ignore at this point. 7 months later.
Yeah.
That comment section was really weird.
Yeah.
It's creepy. And yeah, I don't know. So.
And HW, brings up a point that I've sort of been kind of allowing myself to go to is they said, do we actually know what they did from 8 to 10 a.m. before picking H up? And that's the thing is like, I'm almost thinking, I mean, I've sort of always felt like the timeline Candace has given us obviously is BS, and she's even admitted not being good on time. So we kind of have to like allow ourselves to be super open to what exactly, when did things start happening? Was it without knowing the phone data that they know, which I'm confident if they gave over the right phones, they know things.
Amber, oh my gosh, today there was some clips played that reminds me of a phone call between Dawn and Molly Golightly. And we've all known the timeline was off. But in this call, Dawn says the police were on to Candace. They were after Candace because she did not have, her timeline didn't make sense. And he was going to sit down with her and go over it point by point, like, minute by minute. And he couldn't do that because everything was deleted from the phones. But that he says the police, even have a problem with her timeline.
That is weird. I do want to point out that people are asking, or not people, somebody said, was there even a pillow in the car? And in the video, you can slightly see the pillow on the right-hand side behind the driver's seat. So there was a pillow. She wasn't sitting on it, though. And I have heard Candace say that the Skittles were old. The candy was old. So it's like, so she didn't eat at all, not even Skittles. But they do have, you could see that she has, I think it was Sonic. She has a Sonic cup in her hand or on her left side when she's driving. So I don't know.
Do you know what Don said when he was saying this? Another thing he gave away was that Candace forgot that she made lunch and did laundry. And I'm like, what, made lunch? When? Like, that's because they weren't there at lunch. So I guess when she got home, they made lunch and she did some laundry before. I don't know when, before or after she went over there, but I have the clips to that. I can find them for you.
That's interesting. I've never heard the lunch.
I've never heard lunch, but I did hear that she went home and did laundry, and that I'm not 100% sure if she was upset at the boys or if she was just upset that the house was dirty because she left the boys there to clean, supposedly.
I'm going to send it to you, Amber, and that way you can have it for whenever. But yeah, I've got the clip. I can send it to you too, Amanda, if you wanted me to, or you could show it or whatever. You know what I mean? I'll send it to you for whatever you want to do.
Send it to us and upload it like for your right on your channel.
I played it in a live today, but
you should just upload the clip, and because no one has ever talked about Summer getting lunch.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, unless I'm out of the loop. If chat has heard this.
I mean, I have a daughter a year younger than Summer, and she snacks about 17 times a day, and she's little. So it does make me worry that she didn't eat anything and she was swimming and such.
It doesn't make, honestly, even if Candy was old, the Skittles as a kid, I mean, she didn't eat it all besides those slushies, which isn't food. I would have eaten those Skittles. How is she not hungry?
I would have eaten those Skittles at this age.
Exactly. So let me just play that again, because he says kids, plural. So
yeah, we didn't get very far.
And we just sit there and talk for probably 30 minutes, and then I thought, well, that's when I called Candace, and she said she was still waiting on a prescription or something at the lake with the kids and all. And I thought, well, hell, I might as well work late. I got.
Sorry, notice he didn't mention Grandis. He didn't say in her mother.
Good catch.
This big house, I got to get something done anyway. With that frantic phone call that she couldn't, I'd say about 30 minutes after my buddy left, that's when Candace called me with that frantic phone call that she couldn't find Summer nowhere. And so I threw all my tools in the back of the car as fast as I could and got in the.
So he says pretty much the same thing on Dr. Phil about throwing his tools in the back of his car as fast as he could. And for some reason, I'm just like, why would you even bother taking the time to throw the tools in the car when you hear like a frantic phone call from your spouse about your child missing? Like, if you're going to call the emergency number 911, like he says he did, why bother even taking the time to like grab your tools? Like, head to where you got to do or go and, worry about I just feel like it's strange that for one, the Subaru, and then for two, he's got to take the time to put the tools back in there before calling 911 and heading home. I don't know. Maybe the fact that Candace was already calling 911, but then why did he bother? It's just, to me, it's just sort of strange.
If I remember correctly, he who has the most consistent story of at least some of the adults in this story about what he was doing, he at one point said he was already packing the stuff into his truck.
Yes.
Into the car. I'm sorry, not the truck.
Okay, I didn't know if I misheard that because there was, other stories where he said, I was loading my tools in the Subaru and I got that call. And then in other ones, like here in Dr. Phil and on Chris McDonough, he didn't elaborate from what I heard, like much on the order. But yeah, I knew that there was like a different order somewhere.
Yeah, so maybe he's just reiterating what really happened. For some reason, I don't know if you guys have heard me say, I believe Dawn. And I think that if anyone's not lying about where they were at the time when Summer went missing, if I believe anybody, it was Dawn.
Me too. I agree.
Do you think he was at work all day uninterrupted that day?
That I don't know.
Yeah. I lean towards he was. But I think if he was, it was part of a plan type thing.
Right. I feel like he's used work as an alibi so heavily, even in his like verbiage talking with the news media. I was at work and Candace called me at work, so I left work, and it's like the 7 alibis slip that he said. It just seems like, in my opinion too, that it leans towards like he is part of like a pre-plan in a way, and work was used as his like alibi. And maybe he was loading the tools because he was anticipating that phone call and he's not going to leave his tools behind.
Right. And I feel like the Subaru possibly fed into the alibi because he even says they can check my Subaru GPS. I mean, he knew that Subaru had GPS. And I heard somewhere, I cannot remember though, but that he said he had taken the Subaru to work prior than just that Tuesday, which aligns with what Dudley said. He said he had the Subaru that Monday, but again, Dudley got a little confused, which is always going to bother me for that interview. But I would just be curious to know, what his habits were leading up to the 15th. How was he acting at work? Did he take the Subaru? Was he working full days, or was there any difference in all of that? I mean, I'm sure, they've looked into this, but these are just kind of my thoughts on it.
Right.
Well, you know what he said in this call, again, something else. So Molly says, Dawn, I had to come down here. It really bothered me when you, part of the reason I can't let this go, I forget how she words it, but she says it's because of that comment. I have 7 alibis and you have none. You're going down. And he has said this on Benny Keys. He actually said it was a joke then, but here he says, he elaborates, but he's like, well, I was drunk and it was a joke, but I mean, I do have 7 alibis. And he was basically like, I was joking, but I mean it. Like, straight up. I don't know. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
like still wanted Molly to understand, like, I'm not the guilty party here.
Yeah, and he's like, well, I have the people at work. I have 7 people I was working with, and then he's like, I have this, I have that, naming things off. And so he's like totally canceling out the whole it's a joke thing. You're sitting there saying you mean it. Like you have 7 alibis and she has none.
Yeah, because he said that was whiskey talk. And then
Sometimes the most truth, and I'm pretty sure there's some saying that goes like, there's
Only
a lot of
children
truth
and drunks
being told.
speak the truth.
Yes, I knew Amanda would know it. But I mean, even in an I think it was on Voices Behind the Wall with Cher, he emphasized in other interviews with Chris, I think he emphasizes, my boss saw me and thought the Subaru was a red flag or something, not those words, but pretty much says that's how he knew where I was.
yeah, he did state that the boss thought it was odd and like it stuck out to him and he knows I was there and commented on the Subaru and
Yeah.
yeah.
It's like a lot of emphasis on him being at work as like, no, it wasn't me, whatever happened that day, I was at work. But that's just my opinion.
And the thing is, real quick, Dawn can be involved and still have been at work all day uninterrupted. Allegedly, in a theory.
Very true.
Right.
I sent you guys, but like all 3 of you guys, that clip. But if you want, because so I started clipping her video when I saw that she was live with a phone call. I thought I better get it now, and good thing I did, because right in the middle, the live went private. And because I was behind where I was clipping and stuff, and then it went private, and then it went back up. So I don't know what's up on her live, but I have a bunch of clips, and I'll just send them all to you guys if you want me to.
If I do know one thing, Molly always posts her videos and then she takes them down while she makes the thumbnails and stuff. So
No, this was Bullhorn Betty was posting a phone call that JLR filmed of Molly. And JLR posted like a clip on his channel, and that is where Dawn admits to showering with Summer and stuff, this same phone call. And it was the night, it was the last night they were there and all that stuff happened, and she thought Dawn had showed up to the house. And you can see during this call, she has one phone in one hand talking to Dawn, and she's basically telling him, I'm not recording you, nobody's listening, I won't say anything. And she has 911 in the other hand, like on listening, and she's filming it. You can see it all, but I'll send y'all the clips and then you can just see it, and you can kind of, because there's a lot of things we're talking about that he said some things about, you know what I mean? And that way you don't have to go back through my whole live from today.
Yeah, I love clips, and especially if the live streams have been taken down, that's great. So send away.
Score.
And we shall continue.
When I called 911 myself, and they transferred me from where I was, or Jonesboro, to Hawkins County 911.
Because Jonesboro is a different county. Yay?
Yeah,
Correct.
Candle.
I know for a fact that my daughter.
So I did not know the source of this.
Can I interject real quick?
Yeah.
If Dawn called 911 and they had to transfer him, that means he was in Jonesboro when he called, like he just said.
Yes.
That's
That's a very good point.
something I'd never picked up before. So thank
Yeah.
you for doing that, Amber.
Good point. Yeah. That's very interesting. So then we can rely on at least knowing that. I didn't know if this was that Prayer Garden channel. I don't know. So I just put source unknown. So if anyone knows, let me know. But so Candace was on this panel. This was like, I don't know, weeks ago by now, but I was just adding them all tonight. So she starts to say, I know for a fact. And anytime anybody says, I know for a fact, you can kind of rely on the fact that they are certain 100%. So it just confuses me a little bit. If she just knew that Summer went down to the basement and then she was just gone and had said up until like this point, like, I don't know what happened. I think somebody lured her possibly, and abductions happen all the time. I don't know. It's just like for somebody to say, I know for a fact, like, how would she know for a fact? And again, it could just be me overanalyzing, but just want to hear that again and see what you guys think.
That my daughter.
Bro, to
Okay? Correct.
Candle.
I know for a fact that my daughter was kidnapped out of my own yard. And if nobody, the police, the TBI,
Target practice, Candace. Dude, we know what we saw. Like, we know what we saw. We saw Summer's
Look.
image on a.
Oh my God, I hadn't seen that. Uh,
So
I
she
don't-
just had gone on about like people should believe her type talk.
and
But
I don't like that. Something about that just felt wrong. How do you know for a fact that she was kidnapped out of your yard and she didn't walk off and get kidnapped? You know what I mean? Just the way she said it, it feels weird. I don't know.
And how does she know she wasn't kidnapped out of the basement?
yeah, like when she said yard, I mean, take it for what you will. Is it something or is it nothing? You know what I mean? What do you think, Kelly?
Yeah, I don't like how she said yard. And I feel like she's either knows more than she's saying, or if you want to think she doesn't, she has convinced herself that that's what happened. But that still then goes against the original into the basement. And then not sure if the door is unlocked or not, but yeah, that was odd.
Okay, I didn't know if it was just me.
Not just you.
No.
I know for a fact that my daughter was kidnapped out of my own yard. And if nobody, the police, the TBI, and all them pieces of shit, including Molly Golightly, don't believe us, then they can go fuck themselves.
Thank you.
Do you think Molly Golightly took your daughter?
No, but I think there's a couple people really close to me
Mm-hmm.
that did.
Okay.
Oh wow.
That's weird.
That just makes me want to look. I mean, I have to say it, but who are the neighbors and what were the neighbors' relationship with the hill?
And Jodie Sue, that's even more reason to look into her. But can I just say real quick, getting her on your channel when she's under the influence like this and you're not doing anybody, I don't like that. I think it doesn't do anybody any favors. Yeah, we get to find out information, but also, I don't know, it feels wrong. I don't like, she needs help. You know what I mean? These people need help. They're sick. And it's so hard to watch. It's like, man, I don't know, you guys. It's sad. And yeah.
I wonder if it's a spiral because of what's happening, or yeah.
And the Pink Dahlia and I kind of have this talk a lot, and I know that we've talked about it before, and we always express, they need help. I want them to seek help, especially if they want the boys back, like she claims. Not saying that that's right and that that's what the state would allow, but if they're claiming that that's what they want, we want them to get help. And another thing is like, yeah, it's sort of like cringy and like eerie and just like you're viewing I don't know, just sort of like a scary movie in a way, like when you see her in this state of mind. But we knew, like, even after the prank phone call and like her screaming at Cher in the background and stuff, like the bomb threat on Walmart and pulling a shotgun out on CPS, like this right here, like I feel like even if, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what she's like clean, but from what we've seen when she's not well, this is like what it is. And it's very scary. And this case really does have like substance abuse issues that that need to be addressed too. Like we need to find Summer and they need to get well. And people in this clips that will be showing, like I think I show people that went down there, part of JLR's crew. It's like, it's almost like, you know, we know like I wouldn't personally do what they do, or everyone brings something to the case though. Like that's what I sort of realized by putting these clips together. And I know that you guys agree too, because we all share them and look at them. And it's like crazy the way that this has sort of like played out as far as the suspects in the case talking to people on YouTube, you know?
Yeah, like in the middle of the investigation. It's weird.
Yeah.
But
I think I would be somewhere along the lines of devastated and try not to be belligerent in front of people. So when my daughter is found, I can get her back.
absolutely. And they tell you this in rehab. There's only 3 places this road goes. It's jail, the graveyard, or rehab. That's it. You don't walk away from this and you're just fine. When you get to this sort of long-term years and years of abuse and addiction, there's absolutely nowhere else to go. And that's just the way it is. So I feel that even though it seems like it's gotten so bad, it'll get worse before it gets better. It has to.
Do you guys think she's throwing anybody under the bus or just guessing that she knows a couple of people who did take Summer?
I think she's throwing people under the bus, like the way that, I mean, she didn't look at the camera like with like longing eyes of wanting her daughter back. Instead, she lights up a cigarette as if like she knows for a fact exactly what she's saying is something that she knows, in my opinion.
I think deflection. I think that because I think she holds the key. Her and Grandma, like I keep going back to, they know more. And I believe they hold the key to what happened. And I think when she's saying, don't look at me, she's like, look at them. I know for a fact she was taken out of my yard and it was by somebody close to me. Like she already knows what happened. Like, well, why ain't you, well, spit it out.
Yes. But Dahlia's saying what you're saying. If you know, say it.
That's funny at the same time, Pink Dahlia.
And you know what else though is she's super defensive and aggressive, and like the first few times watching it I was like, well, yeah, Molly Golightly, you know, really turned her world upside down for a while when they were down there and prepping to go down there. But then I like realized also she sort of throws law enforcement under the bus too, because she says if the TBI and FBI and all them don't want to believe me, they can go F themselves. You know, like she lumped them in with everyone else. So it makes me think that they have sort of expressed things of not being certain of what they've been hearing so far from the mother.
She seems to be offended by Molly Golightly a lot, even before Molly went over there. I don't know if you guys saw the moment when Molly asked them Summer's birthday and they didn't know. They went off on her right after that. Like they were talking to her and then after that they called her a bitch and stuff like that. Like they weren't happy about her even questioning them something so simple as your daughter's birthday, which, and by the way, is in 2 days. But, you know, people that I know, Lisa Donahoe, for example, knew Summer's birthday off the top of her head. Her parents couldn't articulate when her birthday was. And when Molly brought it up, instead of being embarrassed, they became upset. And I feel like that's kind of the same reaction we're getting right now.
Absolutely. You are absolutely right. And I don't know, because when there's because when they didn't know her birthday, if you remember, Candace was like wasted, wanting the fire bill, and just, I could get if she just was like, whatever, don't even ask me that. You know what I mean? But then Dawn didn't know. But then there's another interview, if you guys, and I don't know, do you know where it's at, where he's unsure of their ages? You know, and I believe like I don't know if the missing poster was something like that or purposeful that they gave the wrong details, but all of the stats are off. They didn't know nothing about these kids. Dawn didn't know what kind of candy. Summer's favorite thing is candy, but he don't know what kind she likes. I mean, what? I don't know. It's bizarre.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're feeling because months ago, even before the Gabby Petito case happened, I had been working on clipping together things that her parents had said and Robin, people around them have said about Summer, because I wanted to do it in that documentary that I made on my channel. And I just kept listening and I was like, nobody knows anything about this girl. Like, I'm trying to just come up with, something to put together where we can kind of get an idea of who this girl was. And I couldn't get anything. And all I know is I've done other documentaries on my channel and it was, effortless to hear about what they were like growing up and this and that, what, food they like. And like you said, it was like he didn't know anything. And we've seen over and over, she liked to twirl.
Candace told me her favorite food was pizza.
That is so sad. And if you think about her bedroom and everything, I mean, it's just heartbreaking. And I think that's part of what like keeps me even makes me closer the more I think and talk about it to this case is this baby lived a long time like this. And we have kids. I know my kids are they're given so much love and attention, and I want to give them everything. I want them to have a cool bedroom. I want them to be proud of, their who they are and of, what I mean? I don't know. I want them to feel. I just can't imagine the life that she lived, and it's so heartbreaking. There's so many people who want babies that would have given her a really nice home, and it's sad.
I feel like with this case, kind of what you were saying earlier, Amber, how there's just so much, I don't know, I guess you all kind of were saying it, but there's so much to it. I mean, we're seeing these people who are in active addiction. And I'm a firm believer, I think addiction is a disease. It's extremely hard to beat it, and seeing it. And then in the center of it all is a missing 5-year-old, baby. I don't know. It's just, I agree though, just about, even if you don't, that was my point. Even if you don't think, Dawn and Candace necessarily know what happened to Summer or they were involved in it, I just still feel like the neglect, the fact that Dawn is an admitted SAer, he blames the victim. On one hand, he admits it, and then when they, he's like, oh, there ain't no evidence of it. It's like, you just said you did it. I don't know. I just still feel like, Summer just never had a chance, really. And it's awful when you just look at their history and I just feel like all of their children, the one who has the, brain injury from being beaten with a baseball bat, not by Candace, but Candace was, his mother, her daughter that, named after her, has been in and out of situations. It's just awful. And that they've had all these children who they've never really cared for. That's my rant. But even if they're not involved, it's just sad.
Yeah, it is. It's terrible. And it's like, taking someone's life is awful. Doing whatever they did to her is like just devastatingly awful. I mean, all of us, I know it's like something that we all care about and hurts us to think about. And then you think there's this many other kids that they haven't taken their life in that way, but they've taken their life. Here they've ruined it forever. I mean, they could fix it, of course, but they've put a lot of trouble in their way that is not the kind of stuff you just get over. None of it.
One thing I know is before Chris McDonough went to the house, Candace had told me that they were collecting all of Summer's toys and putting them away so they could be together when she came home, like as if they didn't want them to get lost or dispersed or whatever. But one thing I can say is when they go through the home, the only hint of Summer that I saw was a t-shirt possibly hanging on that clothing rack above the washer or near the bathroom. But aside from that, there was literally no hint of her being there. You could see hints of her brothers being there, but I still cling to there's nothing of Summer's. And one thing you can see, like when they're looking at the property, is like her shoes are scattered, and you can tell she didn't have many shoes from her pictures. Mm-hmm. I don't know, like I know she wasn't well taken care of, but I just feel like she had no connection there.
Yeah. I almost, and was that garage sale that they had, that was before she went missing, right?
Yes.
I almost feel like that was sort of like part of a premeditation too, like, oh, get rid of some stuff of hers.
Oh my God. And then the rest is gone now because, well, the church was cleaning them. I don't know what was happening with that, but well, I mean, what was left at that point? Did anybody see? Because I saw a few things, but nothing. I don't know. Bentley, if my house has more toys than anything, you know what I mean? And I know a lot of us are like that. Shoot, I'm not rich. I struggle, but my baby gets toys. Like, that's.
Yeah. I don't even buy the toys, and because I knew, I was like, she's gonna get so many from people from Christmas and her birthday now, and like they're everywhere.
And they're gonna keep growing.
Yeah.
I don't even want to admit how many toys my kid has. And I have two kids, and one just doesn't really play with many, but she still has a lot. It's just, I feel weird to not really see, like, for the boys, I can understand they're older. They probably just had tablets, but I don't see anything of substance for a 5-year-old in the home.
Yeah. Even remember when Olivia, when the crew went down there and she had that picture of that like little tricycle or whatever that was pink, and it was just like thrown down the side.
I didn't see that, but I believe it.
Oh,
It was
on the
like,
side of the hill, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, so it was like like even the shoes aspect, like, did you not want them to be brought inside or something? Like, do you know that she's not coming back ever for them? So you just, I don't even know. I can't get in their head, I guess. It's hard for me to understand. And I've yet to see like tears, like wet tears from Candace.
I've only heard Candace really cry, almost cry about the cornbread mafia and when she lost one of her YouTube friends. But none for Summer.
I remember the YouTube friend. Didn't she have another lady with her who she was hugging on?
Yeah, she was sobbing.
Yeah.
And also, I want to bring this to light because it has been going around and it has been said by H's dad that people alluding to there being more than just friendship between Allie and Candace. Like they were in love, possibly.
He also kind of alludes to the fact that there may be charges against Candace for maybe possibly having a relationship with Hunter. H, my bad.
Oh, wow.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah, he said that they're going to look into filing charges, but they might be busy right now with the investigation or something like that. So it was like on hold or something. I have no idea. He
Bye,
bounces around a
Johnny.
lot.
Have a good night, Johnny. Thank you for coming by. He's awesome.
Thank you. Okay, let's press on.
Yeah. That's believable. Y'all have some beautiful land.
Got it. Where are the 3 bulbs?
It is.
They want to help you financially. Candace.
I just want Summer and my boys back home safe.
So the first time I heard that, I was like, oh, okay. That doesn't sound red flag-ish, like other statements she had said prior in this live stream. But then I was like, safe? I don't know. Like, usually people would be like, I just want my kids home. I just want Summer home. I just want my boys home. But then like she added the word safe to it.
I've heard parents with lost children say, like, I don't care how I get them. I just want them home. Like, I don't care if they're hurt. I don't care if this has happened to them. I don't care if that's happened to them. I just want them home. So her saying safe really stuck out to me as well. Just being somebody that follows a lot of missing children's cases, that stuck out to me too. And then why wouldn't the boys be safe? I completely agree. That's just an awkward thing to throw in.
Yeah. And then again, it just goes back. I just wonder if, Candace, say again, there were things going on, but she didn't mean for Summer to get gone. is she feeling safe? I mean, is she feeling safe with Donnie? Is she feeling safe on the hill?
She told me that she felt safe, because I asked her point blank. I said, do you feel safe around Dawn? Because in the beginning, I assumed, I still think that she was a battered wife, but I assumed that it was just him as the abuser. Now I feel differently, but she made it seem like, yes, she was comfortable with him. She didn't fear him. And in fact, they were a team.
That's good. Because then I feel like on this same live, she was talking about wanting to move, and she found a house like 30 minutes away, and she didn't care what Dawn thought. But I agree. Their relationship dynamic is interesting to me, to just because I've kind of gone back and forth. I'm like, Cher claims that Candace is the one. Dawn's afraid of Candace almost. I remember her saying that at the beginning, because I don't know, but these are just very interesting people to observe. And then again, the fact that Summer's missing, and their behavior leads to so many different thoughts and scenarios about this case and theories.
Yep, pretty much. And, there's all this talk too. And the thing about Reverend Donna is I feel just like the polygraph results, and how polygraphs are used in investigations as a tool. I just feel like her readings are a tool in my research. And it's just like listening to everybody's interview where you don't know who to believe, and then you catch people in lies and you're like, okay, so I guess I can't trust you, and then you find out, wait, everyone's lying. I can't trust anybody. I sort of feel like Reverend Donna is just like another extension of like, okay, let's kind of feel out the vibe. And, I think that it's been very like beneficial, and it's sort of kind of aligned with like a lot of people's thoughts on where this case was kind of feeling like. Even before the reading, I sort of was feeling the things that Reverend Donna was saying, but again, I hope it's not as horrific, but I just feel like it's just a tool. And I added the black and white Darren on the thumbnail because allegedly that is one of the people involved with, if her visions are correct, Reverend Donna sees them being involved in a murder scene pretty much. And we don't know, obviously, because it's just a tool used, but it's interesting. Like a lot of people are wondering, what part of it is reliable and all that. But it's the same thing when you listen to everyone's interview. It's like, what part of all this is reliable?
Well, it's such an interesting way you put that, because they tell you that even the best psychics in the world are still wrong like 1 out of 5 times at least. That's just because it's not 100%. They can see something and perceive it to be, it could be like not literal, but more like, you know what I mean? They can just perceive it the wrong way because they perceive it also with their own conscious. And the goal, I guess, is to like block out all of their own thoughts and stuff and just receive whatever. But anyways, they're not going to be right all the time. They're just not. But her track record is incredible. I mean, she went from Valo to Morphew to Gabby Petito. I mean, just giving out stuff that, how could she ever know? She did Gabby's reading before Gabby was found and said that she was found, this happened by a stream, basically. And she said that he not only choked her, but also hit her in the neck and head. And we're told that he choked her up until a week or 2 ago, and we find out blunt force trauma. So there's things that, she just wouldn't know. She saw Barry chasing Suzanne around, and the prosecution thinks that he shot her with a dart that took a couple minutes to go out. She fled, and, they show the door's been beat down, and they can kind of show that could have possibly been happening. And then with JJ and Tylee, she knew. How would she know? There's 2 kids that a lot of people thought were hidden in a cave somewhere. I didn't think I thought that they had them stashed somewhere. And months before they're found, she knows that JJ will be found in pajamas, and Tylee would be dismembered and burned, and she was, and she knew all those details. She knew down to what the area looked like that they would be found in. Like, I don't know. It's just, I think that she's a gift to the world. I think there's a lot of people who pretend to be psychics and make the people that are really gifted look bad. But no, not more like 4 out of 5. The best psychics in the world are known to be wrong 1 out of 5. Not all psychics. A lot of psychics are never right, but she's really, I mean, it's incredible to watch.
Yeah, and interesting how the parents here, unlike other parents, and I think Michael Monkey's mother talked to Reverend Donna, but yet Don and Candace, and they say religious purposes, which, if I really truly believed that they were true Christians, then maybe I would understand. But I find it interesting that they're avoiding talking to Reverend Donna, and how Don called her rhymes with bore, but starts with a W. Like when he found out her reading about summer, that was the word that he referred to Reverend Donna as.
I didn't see that, but I did see he didn't want to go anywhere. He wasn't messing with it, which to me, if it even religious or not, would you not do like anything? You have nothing else, bro. Like, I don't know, that I would.
And like, it's one thing for him to call her evil or a witch or blasphemy or this and that, but like it's like a sexual term. Like,
Yeah,
why does he think that like
weird.
her vision had anything to do with some like sex scene? Her vision was, horrific. And I mean, sorry that she had felt that way, but for him to have reacted the way he did, I was just kind of like, oh God, like why?
Yeah, I'll post her link, Alexa. I don't know. That's just weird, but I guess we'll see. I don't know. I feel like he was like kind of almost thinking about it the last time that he was like approached about it. I don't think he'll ever do it. All she wanted was like an hour of his time. So really, it's not that much to ask. Because if you really want to, I don't know, it's just like one extra thing you could try to do that might help you just spend like an hour. And I think the way she does it is she wants someone who is directly connected to the victim. Like, it doesn't have to be a parent. It could be anybody close on the phone while she's having like while she's in her, like, she goes into like a meditative state. And this way, when she starts like saying what she's seeing, the person on the phone can kind of say, yeah, that's right. Or, you know what I mean? To help guide her, to help. It's supposed to make it a lot more accurate. She said like, it's a big difference from like 40% to 80% with somebody there. I believe that's mediumship. And otherwise it's just a psychic reading if the family member's not there or something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong, y'all. I don't know. I've tried learning about it, but it's a lot.
I mean, it makes sense that she'd need to be sort of closer to somebody who's the victim in the case. And like Pink Dahlia said, it did seem like Reverend Donna hit a nerve with Don.
I think for me, it all has to do with religion. That in a sense of them being religious, even whether or not we want to believe that they are very religious, they don't believe in psychics. I find myself to be more religious than anything. So to me, believing in psychics is kind of like a superstitious, like I can't put myself in believing them 100%, although I have seen really weird things as a human being. So I want to believe that half of it is that he's been conditioned to not believe psychics and to think that they're working with the wrong side of the spiritual spectrum.
And Kelly's in the right location, but here too, this Bible Belt, that's exactly what it is. I mean, you go to other places and people who are religious, I mean, well, even in the church, in these Bible Belt churches, Southern Baptist, like these really, I know that's not what they were in at that time, but they've changed their churches. But anyways, this whole area, but they do have people in the church that have premonitions and dreams and things like that. It's like it's only okay. I don't know. That to me makes no sense. But how could it be anything but a gift from God? And you have people. They have people in the churches like that all the time. Because I'm from close by. Kelly, you're just about the same distance, and these churches do have people in them a lot of times that are having dreams, premonitions, things like that. And that's, I don't know, it's weird to me.
Right. I know. I mean, my mom I was raised Catholic, but she does not believe in any of that. But I still feel like if I was missing, she would use one. If she saw, like, for instance, you just explained Reverend Donna's track record. She has gotten a lot right. So it's like, why not try? But that's also is interesting to me how you mentioned she wants the family member, which makes sense. But can you just imagine if she had Dawn, Grandis, Candace, and or one of them, whoever,
Oh my God. Yeah.
like what vibes or what feelings she may get with them right there talking to her. I mean, that's why I think it's more than a religion thing from Dawn. I feel like they're kind of intimidated and scared by it.
Yeah, I bet. And Coat of Many Colors said when she met Grandma and Candace that it was the most evil feeling she's ever had meeting another person, that it was pure evil, that they didn't want to pray. It was a prayer vigil. Her mom offered to pray and they didn't want to pray. Someone that was there gave the kids money, and Candace immediately said, "You got to put gas in the car." And it was just like, they were cold, and it was a very evil, weird feeling. And she's religious. Coat of Many Colors is really proud Christian, really awesome person. And for her to say that to me, it says a lot, really.
That's creepy.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of times your vibe really is something that you can rely on, and I can only imagine, what law enforcement, the vibes that they've received, even that they're watching certain things, like Don and Candace, even on YouTube and all that. So I'm sure they've seen this stuff.
Cher said they're watching. Believe that. They're watching a lot of it, all of it. If what they can, they're watching.
I would hope so, because I almost feel like the information that's being done, like here on the streams and slip ups, I'm sure they're catching more than we have, because who knows what they've even told them.
I wonder if they watch all of us, though. Like, do they search their name and just see what's being said? Or there's so many people that are talking about the case, and a lot of times it goes down like a road of drama, which I'm
Right.
sure probably brings them to that, instead of kind of watching people talk about just kind of the facts of the case and stuff. I don't know. I'm curious about that.
I feel like the NSA and the FBI, they have agents that their primary job, they went through all the training to probably just sit on YouTube and like figure out the channels that they speak with. And I really do think that there's like teams of agents that are watching, like Benny's channel and Cher and Andrew Hiltz, possibly. I mean, they're being watched.
See, I thought you meant do Don and Candace watch, but I think all of them, Police and Don and Candace. But yeah, that we kind of I got confused there for a second. But Cher said Don and Candace are watching, because one night,
Oh yeah, I believe it.
I did a live, and I was like, I don't know, I forget, it was on a touchy subject, and I said something to her like, I wonder if they were watching that or something. I don't remember. I think it was around the $50,000 and all that, when all that and the fake phone call and stuff. And she told me, oh yeah, they watch everything. And then police have given it away a lot. I've heard police officers say they do watch.
They do watch, and I know for a fact because when I was corresponding with Candace, sometimes some things would be said on a stream, and I send her the link, and she would go watch it. So if something's said and somebody that talks to Candace sends it to her, she'll watch it.
Oh wow! What does she say? Like back to like can you give us an example?
A lot of it was when they would, like, let's just say they would accuse her of something, or they would say something that was incorrect. I would go and I say, hey, this person is saying this. What do you think? And I would send her the link, and she would, she wouldn't speak up for herself, but she would go watch and then ask me to, debunk it and stuff for her. So,
wow,
she did have an opinion on it,
That's so interesting. That's crazy. But I could see that she has street smarts. She don't want to speak. She's from the beginning, like, she knows you keep your mouth quiet when you're committing crimes.
Yeah, and then here she goes on here and saying these like weird things, and I'm just like reading way into it because she doesn't ever speak at all, and it's still kind of questionable the things she's saying, even if I'm over analyzing. This lady never talks, and the things that she is saying is like, I know for a fact she was taken out of the yard, blah blah blah, and I want them home safe. I don't know. It's just very, red flags pretty
Press
much.
play. I want to overanalyze.
That's what I was about to say. We talk too much. Let's play it.
I know that.
All right.
I know you do.
Well, what about getting some kind of order to prevent these people from coming on your land and talking about
And that's why I went and pressed charges on Molly Golightly and her gang.
You know,
Just shitty people, that word.
What did you think about Laura's candle that had your daughter's face on it?
You ever making stuff on my daughter's name? Candles,
Yeah.
t-shirts are crap. And pieces of crap and shit. Look, I got a pimple on my face.
I don't know.
Amber, why are they? It's like they're getting her on here under the influence and asking her things that they know are going to be like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
You
I don't
think
even
about
remember who was on panel, where this was from. I just had these screenshots, and yeah, I know that channel got whoever it is, got a lot of backlash from that. Pretty much for doing what you just said. Like, she was not in a well state of mind, and they're kind of like laughing at her, not with her.
Yeah, and can we not just be ethical as YouTubers? Because there's a lot of people who look at us and say, oh, they're profiting off of tragedy and all that kind of thing when we just care. But there are people out there who, I don't know, I wish that we could all be a little more ethical in this kind of thing.
I don't know who these people are, if they're real friends or what, but I don't know.
Oh, that's Paw Patrol.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the police one.
Yep, that's Chase. He's always on the case.
Okay.
Shifting gears quick, this was a recent live stream that Chris McDonough did, recapping this interview. And this just kind of stood out to me, and I know you guys will find it interesting too.
Okay.
Oh,
I see another one over here.
She put him in there. Yep, you're on the cactus.
Okay. Don't take those out, okay?
And by the way, Kelly, do you notice that there's no plants on that grill over there?
Wow. No, that's interesting. So I guess the pictures with the plants, I'm trying to think where that came from. Probably a news thing
Those
before
were,
this.
I think, from the photos, some of the first photos taken of the place, of the house.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think it was, yeah. And it had the
I
plants
wonder-
all over that grill.
Yep. Yeah, because right on the side where those looks like two, I don't know, plastic kind of containers, there were plants there for sure. That's interesting.
Flowers.
Flowers. Some were flowers, some were plants, but where are they? I wonder if we overthink everything, but that's what we do. But yeah, I wonder if they were planted or what happened to them. And yeah, that's interesting.
No, I leave them right there.
I know.
No one in my mom's where we can't get in there.
Yeah, that's fine. I have to ask a investigative question in my head is why weren't those items collected if they're still there? This is, from an investigator's position, if these are some of the items the child was last playing with, then you'd want to collect that stuff. You'd want to collect that stuff for sure. One of the things here.
What do you guys think about that?
I'm not too sure what I think about that, but I'll tell you one thing. One of the little things that I overanalyze myself is that camper is supposed to be Grandis's, and she hasn't been in town once Chris McDonough is there for quite some time. Remember, the windows are open. When I've had RVs my whole life. When you leave your RV, you close every window. You know, it just, I don't know. That's one thing that just stuck out to me right now. If Grandis wasn't there, why are the windows open?
Is there a reason for that? Like for some kind of care, like taking care of it? I don't know. I've never had one. So,
well, when you're not home, you know, you don't want your windows open in case it rains, in case bugs get in.
oh, okay. Yeah. Just
and
like,
to keep moisture out and stuff.
Even critters.
Yeah.
yeah, I wonder if, because like in the summertime in these areas, maybe that's why they're trying to keep it from getting too hot in there.
Yeah, maybe they just air it out every now and then because
I
of
wonder-
humidity, but I just don't think that they're the type to like care about those types of things. I don't know.
I don't know if you've ever seen the picture of summer in Grandis's trailer, but it looked really nice in there. It looked like it was probably well taken care of. So that just kind of stuck out to me because she's saying we can't get in there, but the windows are open, which makes me think they could have been in there and she just doesn't want him to go in.
Yeah, just like, wasn't there something else like the shed or something? Yeah, it was a shed that they weren't allowed to go into. And is that the picture right there, Amanda, on the screen? The one where she's got I think it's a frozen thing?
I don't see a picture. I only see Chris McDonough.
Oh yeah, hold on. Let me remove. Thank you, Brooks Richards, for being here, and thank you for the super chat. Yeah, this picture behind us, I just don't feel like moving us, is that picture of Summer in the camper, her grandma's camper.
There it is. Yeah, and doesn't it look rather spiffed up compared to everything else on that property?
Definitely
Yeah.
looks more homey.
Even the outside, just now I was thinking when y'all were talking about the plants right there, the siding and stuff, it's very clean and new looking. It's nice, and compared to the house, it's yeah, big difference.
And also just think something I've been thinking about too is for Grandis to be, able to leave her trailer there, she's not paying like a trailer lot fee like other trailer parks or whatever type places. She has it sort of made, and it makes me wonder if that is why like they've banded together, because it went from Dawn saying that she didn't like him that much, and then now I almost wonder if like they all just scratch each other's back, you know what I mean? Like Grandis, she's probably thinking like, I guess, I'll go along with they just have a secret that they hold together, and I think that they all like benefit from their relationship with each other.
I get that too, that they're all banded together with this one secret. They kind of have to cover each other's butts. They can't talk too much trash on each other, so on and so forth.
Yeah, and they hate each other. What you were talking about before I came on, I was listening. I did a video with where'd Kelly go? I did a video with screenshots from texts that were released from Crime Stories Obsessed, and also a couple other little screenshots that I had, but of their conversations. And Grandis was saying all in there, like, I think Dawn, he may have done it. I hope he, just, you'd have to go watch, just not nice things about Dawn. But that psychic reading recently mentioned a secret and covering for each other. Candace she kept like saying, like, Candace has something on Dawn, and there might be a specific hiding place in the wall, a brick in the wall that you can remove, that something may be in there that's like they're hiding. I don't know. Pictures or like, it was weird.
Yeah, it could be, I hate to say it, but like a piece of a sheet or something linking both their DNA or something. But I do think that it is sort of interesting that Chris, being a retired homicide detective, him to say that those, Paw Patrol toys should have been collected if they were some of the last things that she touched. I mean, if you think about other cases, they do throw things in evidence bags, for a reason. And let's say, somebody else was there planting flowers with them, or interrupted Summer when she was playing with her toys. What if his or hers fingerprints were on those toys or something?
Welcome back, Kelly. But yeah, you're absolutely right. Them not collecting it gives you a pretty good idea of how long they actually spent there investigating everything. Like we follow cases like Watt's case, where this huge investigation was only there for a couple of hours. What's his name? The one that they're not sure if he committed, Christian Andreacchio. I think it was like a 45-minute investigation, stuff like that. You can only imagine they probably just scraped the surface, and then it makes you wonder why they're so confident in saying that there was no foul play, why they were confident in saying it wasn't a kidnapping. Like, how long did they actually stay? What did they actually collect, if anything?
Right. And we don't know what luminol can produce on things that they spray it on. And what if they sprayed it on those toys? At this point, people have touched it. It's been out in the elements. It's just, maybe something could have been pulled from it. Maybe it's just kind of made up that they were planting the flowers anyways, so the toys don't matter. But I just thought it was interesting that Chris McDonough was kind of like, wow. And he doesn't really criticize law enforcement often. So for him to kind of say, like, why wasn't that done? It was sort of like, wow, yeah, like, I guess there would be a reason why one detective would think that was worth collecting. And for some reason, these ones didn't. I don't know.
Good point. And as a mom, I know Candace definitely isn't a mom. Like, I'm a mom, and I mean that in the most sincerest form. It's just something that I've seen. I feel like if my daughter was playing with something and then went missing, I would treasure those items. Like, they would be, when you hear somebody saying their stuff is the same as when they left and I haven't moved it, I haven't changed it, I wouldn't be leaving them outside.
Oh my God, you'd have it like wrapped in like a towel and put in a drawer, or you know what I mean? Yeah. I don't know.
In bed with me every night, something like that.
Yeah, that's the thing, is like, you never know until it happens to you, and everyone reacts differently. But another thing that we can rely on is what other people have done in the past. And even people who have lost their children, not just missing, but just lost them, they keep the bedroom the same. And I've seen that firsthand. Somebody that we went to church with, they lost their daughter young. And literally, by the time the church cleaned the house out, because over time they all just passed away, they had Nixon political like signs in that girl's closet, like from the election that year, because she literally kept everything the same.
Oh,
So there was just like stuff that was like, wow, this is sort of like historic. That's strange.
It's strange that you said that stuff about Nixon and I got the chills, but not because of Nixon himself, but just because of the sentimental value. But yeah, that's absolutely true. I would think that everything that was Summer's would be protected. Just like she said, she was collecting all of her toys to make sure that she had them all in one place for when Summer came back. The last toys Summer played with just get left outside.
Yeah, and the last shoes she had, because we don't see anything besides those one shoes that were way too big and those sneakers left outside.
Scattered.
Social pests believe their own lies. Yeah, that would be how they both pass the polys. Yeah, well, the first one I know that Candace didn't pass, because she told me she didn't pass it because she was under the influence. Okay? She was under the influence. I mean, it's cut and dry.
So just like the psychic reading, I feel, is a tool in my own mind. The fact that we don't know what questions they were asked, and the fact that they've taken them twice, and, substance abuse, factor in with why they possibly passed again. I mean, we don't know for sure. It's possible.
That was in that call. Molly asked him, well, I know Candace failed the first time, but then you guys passed, right? Well, she asked something about that, and Dawn said, no, she didn't fail. She never failed. So I don't know. It's weird.
They're lying.
Yeah, I believe Chris. But I was going to say, I think I'm going to jump into chat because I have a horrible headache. I took aspirin when I came on, but I think I'll just function a little better in chat. But I'll jump down there and watch chat and all that thing, join the conversation there. And I so appreciate you asking me to come on. And yeah, I enjoyed it. It's always fun hearing from you guys and hearing I feel like it's so easy. It's easy conversation. It's like, I was not prepared. I was kind of doing a bunch of things, not feeling well, and had a FaceTime call with Trenton, and I just jump right in, and it's so easy with you guys. So I think it's fun, but I appreciate you having me on, and I'll see you back here soon.
Yes,
you, Allie.
thank you for being here.
Thank you, guys. Bye, guys.
Bye, Allie. And I'm still here. I know I'm quiet, but yeah, I'm here.
And you dropped off, but it wouldn't be a live stream without you dropping off.
I didn't even notice.
Yeah.
Whoops. Well, you know, there's not that much more to go, promise. But pretty much, yeah, the polygraph, you know, until we know what questions were asked, I just can't really just say that. And they would be cleared as suspects if law enforcement felt like, okay, yeah, they passed the poly and, you know, everything else we see looks good. So.
Don't think of kidnapping.
No, I don't think she did.
Did anyone see Candace go back there that day, like in the holler?
None of us did.
No
She
one.
said she drove like a bat out of hell out of here on the June.
My name's Jonathan, by the way.
So I just wanted to kind of point out pretty much that this neighbor is saying that he didn't see Candace driving around.
I wonder if he saw her taking a walk or running right before Summer went missing, like they said.
Right.
Yeah, I'm curious about this guy for sure. And it's like, did he not see her? Because Candace really didn't go. I mean, where was he? If he was in his house, would he have seen her? I don't know. But he, I think, is the Don I made a video on where Don Wells is saying, you know, he drove up, the boys right by the creek. He looked over, saw his neighbor Don, and his heart sunk.
Mm-hmm. And he doesn't always name drop him.
Right.
That was like one of the times that he says my neighbor Don, and then it goes on to other times where he's only stated my neighbor, and then he said neighbors like plural before.
Well, and then Jodie Sue, right, Amanda, she was out searching pretty soon after it all broke, wasn't she?
She said that as soon as she started hearing them hollering that she jumped on in to go help. But, Jodie Sue also said she heard a truck door close and she saw truck lights. If he didn't see that either, I'm guessing, if he didn't hear Candace.
Okay, so Skilo said, nope, third Don on the street. Now, is the third Don the Don Jr. who had the issues with the CP stuff? Like, I'm still new to all these new Dons.
That would be interesting. Which Don was on the scene with the boys?
Or is there another Don that's not kin, if you will, to this Don?
Right. I just think it's interesting. He said, they said that Candace drove like a bat out of hell. And he was like, did you see that or something? And he's like, nope, none of us did. Like, speaking for more than just like him.
So Stevie's saying that it's his son, that this guy's kid is currently charged with CP. And then somebody else said, didn't this guy's son get arrested this week for SA? I'm unaware of any of this, but I'm still not caught up on the Dons. But it sounds like it's this guy's son that would be the other Don.
But then Skilo is saying the Don helping the boys was an extra Don, not Sherfy. That's something I have not heard. So that's interesting.
How do we know that?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm just curious.
Yeah, where have we learned that? I'm curious too.
Right. And thank you everyone for being here, by the way.
Vicky says, looks like Beach Creek is not the most desirable neighborhood. And I don't mean to laugh, but I mean.
Right. What is the other Dons? Like, how do we know so many Dons live in this neighborhood?
So Skilo's saying no, not the son.
Okay. So it's a mystery Don that was with the boys, I guess.
but not this guy or the son. See, I didn't think it was the son. I always thought once I realized this guy was Don, I always
Right.
assumed it was him. But when I made the video, I didn't specify that it was this guy. I left it open because I wasn't sure. So I'm really curious where the third Don said it was a third Don, and Skilo has it. Okay, I'm curious because I would love to hear it if you could send it some way.
Yeah, definitely.
And we're not, saying we're not doubting it. We just want to hear it.
Right. No, we just like to fact check things because all we heard them say was Don. And then we're hearing about this Don and his son named Don, so obviously there's going to be confusion. And just like there's confusion about the Andrews.
Right. And support with Steffa. Yes, this Don right here on the screen, his son was arrested like late May for having CP, and they found some on the Snapchat. So again, I just would love to know their relationship with this man.
And sort of now we see he's sort of saying Candace is a liar. He's like, nope, none of us saw that. Like about her driving around.
So Skilo says cracking cases called Don Wells and clarified. So, okay, cracking cases called Don Wells and did, I guess Cam and Allie ask the Don who was with the boys that day, was that a Don Sherfy? And Don said no. But could Don Wells be lying though? And even if Don says it's not one of the Don S's, it still could be.
Right. How can we trust him? And then who is this Don? Hi, Meg.
Yeah. And then who is the third Don? I want to watch. I'm going to watch
Dons
it for
need
sure.
to be double checked. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. If there's another Don on the street, there should be a record of it somewhere.
Okay, so he gave his last name. So we'll look into
cool.
that.
All right. So the phone call is on there to reference. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for that.
I can message Cam and ask him for the link.
My name's Jonathan.
I think he's got his phone turned off.
Well,
Okay, so this here, it seems like nothing, but when you think about it, and once I play it, bear with me a sec.
well,
I think he's got his phone turned off.
well, yeah, my voicemail.
He's got his phone turned off. It went straight to his voicemail.
Please record your message.
So it seems like, okay, what are you getting at? Hi, Seth. Thanks for being here. Don at this point, he's 50 something years old. Not only is he a little old to be having that sort of joke of a voicemail where like people think that like somebody picked up and then they're like, oh, just kidding, you got my voicemail. But he is a father of a missing child right now, so any phone call from TBI or a lead or something, or, maybe even somebody calling who has Summer. It's sort of important to have like a clear way to communicate. And he has his voicemail set up to be like a joke, like where you think that somebody picks up. Do you guys ever, or have you guys ever experienced someone who had that voicemail before?
I did that in high school for sure. My mom would get so mad. But yeah, that's interesting.
It's like just so inappropriate. Anyone could be calling you about your daughter and you're over there with like a joke of a voicemail.
Yeah, it's very immature for sure.
Yeah. Hold on, gotta get rid of a troll in chat. Okay, thank you.
I think I did.
You zapped him.
Fast.
So that's the thing is like, these little clips might seem like nothing, but to me, it's the little things that kind of stand out. And it's like, why would Don have like a joke of a voicemail? Like somebody could start talking about important information, or I have your daughter, and he has it to be like, hey, oh, you got my voicemail. It's like, what the heck?
Yeah, I mean, it's Dawn.
Right.
It's Dawn Wells, you know. I mean, goodness, these people, it's just sad.
Like, is he not expecting important phone calls?
Probably not. Hi, Seth.
So Cam says that they call the other Don Blue Roof Don, and it's definitely not this Don or his son. That was with the boys.
And they call him Blue Roof Dawn?
Yes. So I'm guessing his house has a blue roof because they're pretty simple.
I also remember when Allie was talking about the dogs, and she was saying that when Candace was in Wisconsin, and remember Dawn and the oldest son had already been out there. I guess they were in Utah, but then they went over to the summer to Wisconsin, and the Allie was helping to feed the dogs. She mentioned a neighbor was also helping feed the dogs, and she used he. So there was some neighbor who was helping feed the Wells's dogs, which would mean, as going back to Chris McDonough always says, he believes if this was any type of abduction, kidnapping type thing, it was somebody familiar with the property. It was not a stranger. So I'd just be interested to know who helped feed the dogs when they were out of town. Is it a Dawn?
I'd also like to know if that basement door is locked or whatnot. Was anyone like Allie or other people, did they have like keys to the place that were staying there often, or what?
That's a good question too, because when she was with Chris and she leaves the basement door, she locks it. And I wondered that at the time, like, does she have a key on her, or what? Like you said, what are the habits with those doors?
I actually, when she locked it, I found it interesting because I grew up on a mountain much like that one, where it was kind of secluded and you don't really have to worry about anything. And when she locked it, I assumed at the time that it was because Summer went missing and they were being hyper focused on keeping everything secure. But now that I think about it, I wonder if they ever locked those doors before, because where we lived, when we would go on vacation, my parents would have to ask us kids, like, do you guys have a house key? Like, we didn't have house keys because we left everything unlocked. So it makes me wonder. Yeah.
Yeah, same. That's like my family in Kentucky. My grandparents never locked their doors. But then you also have heard Dawn say how they'd have meth heads come up there and druggies and steal things, but never a kid.
And you hear about how they had like a chain on the bottom of their driveway, remember? And Candace like unlocked the chain to let Chris up there and stuff. Like, if you're gonna, I feel like they did lock their property up, because if they went to the extent to have sort of like that little chain on the bottom of their driveway, I don't know.
Yeah.
You may hang up.
Okay, 8. Listen, I'm gonna say this only once. 8 is fine. He's good. That's all that matters. He's great. 15. Oh, a B.
So H is good. We're getting a little update from Andrew Hiltz. So yeah, these are just he hasn't been talking about the case. Like, he's sort of made a point to say, like, I've had a few live streams on the case. If you want my opinion on it, check them out. And he's very much, like, he just sped through, like, H is fine. I'm going to say it once, because people obviously are hounding him, wanting answers and, wondering why he's defensive of Jose, etc. So these are just sort of the recent clips that I can get that he does comment, because it's just very silent. He will be going on Benny Keys tomorrow morning, last I heard, for an interview. And I didn't know if I told you this, Amanda, but yeah, they're going to be debunking H's lies in the interview room interview.
Andrew and Benny?
Yep. Because according to Andrew, H lied throughout that whole thing. So now Benny said, okay, thank you so much for joining me. Let's, debunk, like, can you kind of clear the air and tell us like which things he's saying is a lie?
I mean, I guess we'll reconvene in about a week to go over that, because I know I watched it with you guys in a few of our separate lives, but we all kind of agreed that H was lying.
I do believe H, again, the motive for H's story and what he may be not telling the truth about is up for debate once again. I mean, was he intoxicated? Was he having some type of more of a relationship? But I do, or did his mom and Candace put him up to lying? I mean, he is still a child. And it's interesting now his dad is in this whole mix.
So one thing I remember that sticks out to me the most is H was kind of making it seem like, well, I mean, and if it's true, if Candace went over there afterwards to talk to him, he was kind of making it seem like she was over there talking to him to kind of be sure of what he was going to say, make sure what he wasn't going to say. But one thing I felt was always a lie, and Candace told me it was, but Candace, was when he said that he saw her phone and that he saw messages were deleted, and we're all kind of able to know that what he said was wrong, that he said that he saw her deleted messages in a deleted folder, but that's not really how it works.
I was confused there.
When I asked Candace, she said, there's no way he could have seen my phone. My phone was in my pocket. Like, he had no access to my phone. But again, we'll take that with a grain of salt because it was said by Candace.
Right. So I'm interested to see whatever they talk about tomorrow morning, because, Andrew has also said he's not been interviewed. He has nothing. Let me just keep playing it. Oh, and by the way, he reads comments from chat, so it's good. And at the same time, it's today somebody wrote something in chat and he didn't answer it, and I was like so mad. They said something like H was just used as the patsy that day. I thought that was interesting, because I almost feel like, he could have just been so oblivious to things going on and was kind of like put there. I think that Ellie would, toss him in there without caring, like as far as like motherly, like guidance and stuff. Like if she needed something covered for her own butt or her mother's or the grandmother's butt, she would have no problem throwing like her children to the wolves, basically.
I agree. And I still think that just goes back to, what was their friendship really like at the time of Summer's disappearance? Allie makes it seem like they were so, strained and had a falling out, and that her mother, Sherry, also had a falling out. But yet we know that Sherry and Candace were hanging out in March or May, I can't remember, but they were still hanging out actively. And then H is saying how, I hadn't heard from her, and then she showed up that day. It's just, who really contacted who that morning? And why is there just some discrepancy about Summer being asleep in the car? That is what makes me kind of just question Allie and even H, because it's not consistent. It doesn't feel honest. Totally, like all the way.
Yeah. And another thing we're sort of working out is realizing that Allie's phone was dead on the day that Summer went missing. Because remember, H is like, by the time you picked up or whatever, or I couldn't reach you or you didn't answer, like yells at Allie. And then like they talked through Leslie's phone, right?
Yeah, I think Allie said hers was in Leslie's truck dead. And so H called Leslie and got to Allie.
And everyone knows when your phone is dead, it can't be tracked, so was that something that was going on? Allie had her movements kind of covered because the phone was dead.
Yeah. And one of my favorite things is that quickly thereafter, she says she checked Facebook on her phone. So I'm like, so was your phone there or not?
Yeah, I think once she was saying once she got back in the truck and they were at cookout, she checked, and so maybe there's a car charger. I think she did say it was on a charger. But I feel like someone else was saying that what she had said there didn't quite add up, so that'd be interesting to go back and listen to. Yeah, dead or turned off. Exactly. Be nice to really know.
I understood that it wasn't there at all, but I could be wrong.
Either way, I mean, it's just kind of suspicious, and people have speculated that that person saying no in the truck video is Allie. Does she still got her arm up? No. Like, people think that that's not Grandis and have said that's Allie.
Yeah, I just feel like I can't tell enough to really have an opinion on that. But, if, again, the stories, I mean, a lot of people believe it was an accident and then a cover-up, so.
I looked at that picture of Summer in the back, and you can see Grandis through the reflection of the window behind her. You can see like her glasses next to the phone.
Oh, okay. I'll have to slow motion it.
Yeah, I never noticed that. That's interesting.
You know me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that just reminded me of you zooming into Shanann's phone when she's walking in, and I was like, wow, only Amanda would do that.
I spend way too much time on stuff like that.
That's the thing, is everyone brings something good, you know what I mean, to the case. No matter your method might not be the same as the other person's. That's what I realized about these clips too. And I'm like, I'm getting good things from every different channel doing every which way with methods. And here you'll see that is AB's question in chat. So other creators, web sleuths, whatever you want to call them, have been in his chat, and he's been able to comment here and there, but then he will snap at people if they bring up H at times.
He did answer a few questions for us that day when we were in his chat. He answered that H did have an appointment that day and that he did go. And then also I asked him about H's sister, T, I'll call her, that, because I said, what do you think about them having said that T would run away to Candace's house often? And he said, she's a good kid, something to that effect, that she's a great kid and that, he doesn't think anything bad about it. But it is something that I do know that whenever H's sister would leave abruptly, most of the time that she would go to Candace's house to go hang out.
That almost makes me think there was something going on between Allie and Candace then.
I don't know, dude. But Allie was definitely okay with her kids hanging out with somebody that she's making it seem she was estranged from, which isn't, I don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't add up.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I feel like the whole, and even Don, again, believe it or not, but he says after that they turned on them, basically. And at first I didn't believe that, but now I'm like, okay, maybe Dawn is being honest about that. Just when you really look at what is being said and their behavior, and I don't know.
And even actually H's dad has said somebody asked him about their falling out. Pretty much said like, yeah, I think they were friends a little bit long. Like you guys would have to rewatch his stuff, but he says something about their friendship lasting longer than what they've tried to say it did.
And it's, in the scheme of things, does it really matter? Maybe it is as simple as Summer is now missing, and so, okay, yes, they have separated and they have nothing to do with it. Or when you really get deep and look into these characters, I mean, who could possibly be Sherry's connection, H's, grandmother, Allie's? All of a sudden there's these 14 people. I don't know. Jose is like, who are these people?
Summer goes missing, and Allie and Candace suddenly aren't friends anymore. Candace and Sherry allegedly have been not been friends for a long time, which we knew wasn't true. And then Allie and Leslie have a falling out since Summer has gone missing. And did Jodie Sue and her boyfriend break up too since Summer has gone missing?
I have heard that, yes, but I'm not positive. But yeah, I've heard that her and Andy have split, but I don't know exactly the timeline on that one.
From what I know, you're saying Jodie Sue, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they did split, and Jodie Sue was looking for help from creators and such to leave her abusive situation with Andy, and since has left. So she's not with Andy any longer.
And you know who else has divorced is that other guy, the other neighbor, Amanda, that you dug into.
Yes, his wife filed for divorce, which is oh god, what can I remember his name right now?
Me either. I can never remember his name.
Is it that Jay Dobson?
Yes. I'm
Okay.
sorry. My pregnancy brain.
Yeah, you have an excuse. I don't.
Jackie.
Yeah, Dobson,
You-
his wife filed for divorce after Summer had gone missing too.
Dobbs.
Dobbs.
I can
Thank
find
you, Jackie Dobbs, Ray Bird. Thank you so much.
I can find Dotson from David Dotson and Dobbs to Dobson. So Dobbs, Jackie Dobbs, yes. And you guys got a recording of a voicemail. That was weird. And I remember Cracking Cases went to the hotel where he had taken the picture of a dog and he had shaved. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's some sketchy stuff there too.
Some really weird stuff. Yeah. He was within 3 days of Summer having gone missing. He was back in Georgia, fully shaved. He lied about, or he told more than one alibi, and he was posting pictures that were old, making them seem as if they were current, trying to say he was at the hotel all day long, except for in the morning, stuff like that. Just really weird things.
Yeah, there's just like a lot of people surrounding the Wells that suddenly had all these falling outs right after Summer went missing. So it's just very strange, you know. You would think, I don't know, dark times usually bring people together in ways, but I guess not.
The voicemail itself is creepy, it's weird, all of the above, but the weird part to me was that she pretended like it was a butt dial, but not only did she send the voicemail, she sent pictures, and she pretended like those were a butt dial as well, and it was to somebody near Ben Hill Road, and she was from Georgia, so that was just sketch alleged for me.
Yeah, I have that voicemail enhanced and turned up as much as you could, and it's still, but the comments on it, people are like disturbed by it. But speaking of disturbing, let me carry on.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. Don't apologize. Stevie's asking what voicemail. Hold on. Let me just link the video real quick. It'll take me 2 seconds. But how did that voicemail come about? It's been so long.
The woman who it was sent it to me. She sent it to me. Sorry. I had a brain fart. Yeah, so she sent it to me and we talked, and she told me how one day she just got it and she sent her the voicemail, a few pictures, and then that she asked her like, hey, what is this? If you don't tell me, I'm going to call authorities. And she was like very defensive. And she's like, did you know that Jackie is one of the suspects in a missing kids case? And she's like, what are you talking about? Those are flowers that remind me of my grandmother. And it made no sense whatsoever.
Weird. And remember, Jodie Sue on her news interview said we were on high alert because the things that had happened with the property the day before. And it's like, let's go a little deeper there. What exactly happened? I know some of it's out there, but
yeah, high alert is quite the word to use.
Yeah.
It is.
AB, why did you set Jose up with your baby mama, and why did so many people come down? AB, one, we were the only one that's ever seen that Ben Hill Road you're talking about, buddy, is Jose. And yeah, as for setting him up, I didn't set any of them up. That's not my thing, bud. What they chose to do after me and mine's left was their business. They're full grown ass adults. What's up, Kay? So if you got another question, AB, feel free. Come on.
I kind of like
because just because I
was just saying I kind of like him. I don't know.
Kelly, didn't I tell you? I was like, I can't stop watching him.
Yeah, he at least, I mean, you can understand what he's saying. He's just pretty.
And I speed him up too, so that like, I mean, there is a lot of BS and just like him reading people's comments, but like his community, I'm not gonna lie, guys, his community's really nice and like they're not judgy at all. And he's got like cats and stuff, and I guess one of his cats passed away, and like I don't know, like I don't think he would have been interviewed and brought in if there was red flags surrounding him, So for me, like but at the same time, he's brought up his past and he's used the term evil side before. But people can change. I believe that, I'm not saying that he has, I'm not saying he hasn't, but he's referred to his past and been like, I was bad, I'm doing better. And he wants, from my understanding, it seems like he wants more custody of H.
Well, a lot of people are saying, why is he coming out now? Why is he speaking up now? I remember him, or not him exactly, but I remember at the very beginning, within a few days, H's dad was trying to get H back in New York, like trying to call out Allie, like, you obviously haven't been a good mom. Let me get my son back. I'm supposed to have him during the summer anyway. So he was heavily involved in the beginning. He at least wasn't okay with everything that was going on with the drinking and stuff. He did try to get his son back, but he tried to get him back through a biker gang going and picking him up roughly. So, that it wasn't the best angle, but at the same time, he was involved at the very beginning.
Yeah, I remember him being in the Facebook groups commenting. And then someone asked about the alcohol and he wrote, it's with a heavy heart that she did. Like that Candace gave H the alcohol.
Ooh, also he confirmed what we've said before that we don't have proof of, but that in the beginning, H's sister had maintained that H was actually more buzzed than just a few drinks of alcohol when he got home. So now they're saying, that he was fine. And apparently he went to a doctor's appointment. But in the beginning, she was saying he was inebriated, and he confirmed that he had heard that as well.
So does he claim that he has never been to the Wells home? Like
Yes.
He's never been on the hill?
He said he's never been on the hill.
Has he met Dawn or Candace?
Yes. I think he even said he met Summer for a few minutes.
Okay.
Yes. I don't know if he's met Dawn, but he's definitely met Candace and Grandis and seen Summer.
And then somebody was saying that he still messages Dawn. But I don't know if that's true. But someone was saying that Andrew and Dawn message currently.
Maybe now, maybe because I don't know. And my understanding was he was sort of just like wanting to stay away. Like people, I think, asked if they talked, and I think he was like saying like no. But again, there's so much that I watch that it's like all a blur at times. But
I know that feeling. Yeah, I don't think he is directly involved at all either. I would just like to know more about Jose's experience on 110 Ben Hill Road,
Agree. And
That's
why would a stranger just leave everyone that he went down there with and decide to stay?
I don't know. For some reason, Jose doesn't catch my attention, but the fact that he catches everybody else's attention makes me wonder what I'm missing.
See, and I'm not saying Jose was directly involved with Summer's disappearance or anything like that, but would, just out of our own curiosity, as what we do, we dig into these cases for if now H's dad has come out. Jodie Sue has come out. If Jose came out and said, yeah, I stayed up there. Yeah, I had a relationship with Candace and Grandis. This is awful that Summer's missing. I mean, maybe you could argue he doesn't care. He's in the Philippines, allegedly. He doesn't feel he owes it. But yeah, I would just like to hear from him out of my own curiosity.
And that's the thing, what it is for me, like, as well, like you said, like, we've heard from all these people, and it's the mystery surrounding his time there, and him being linked to romantic affairs with everyone on the hill, as far as Candace, Allie, and Grandis rumored. It's just very much a mystery in this whole scene, because I mean, it was October when he left, or where that domestic happened, 2020. She goes missing in June. That's less than a year. And I've even seen Andrew actually Hiltz here kind of say, like, it was a year apart. And it's like, but it actually wasn't a year. It's still sort of in the scheme when you're looking at who was around this family, and if somebody knew the property, and who has a key to the basement, who doesn't. Like, these are sort of interesting, things to go down when we hear 14 people were living here.
Yeah. Okay, let me real quick. I know you're still trying to play your thing, but I have a question. So when they say the 14 people, I mean, I just think of them caravanning basically to Tennessee, where the Wells live, meeting up with the Wells. Who connected the Wells to Allie? That would be Sherry. And it's just, they go down there, and it happens to be when there's no hotels, because there is the race, the Bristol whatever race. So there's no hotels. And so then where are they all? If he's never been on the hill, did they have other people they were hanging around with? Just like, of all places. And then
Right.
Summer disappears. And he used to have a panda profile picture. He has a panda by his desk. I don't know. That's the only thing that kind of gives me pause in just theorizing, like, how deep does it all really go?
There's nothing wrong with pandas.
I don't know. I like pandas, but I also know there's a darker side to the panda.
Symbolic.
If all the animals, it's the panda. It's like,
and
makes me-
it being tied to the dark web, him being a huge gamer, his one brother who mods for him is a huge gamer and has talked about, like, hacking, like, with codes and stuff. I'm like, what is going on here? I don't know. I just think it's possible that they know things that they're trying to keep hidden. I'm not sure what, but if it's related to Summer or not, I don't know. But what if it is, and that's why they're keeping it so, like, wrapped up and defensive about things? It just seems like a little bit of defensiveness at times, with Jose being brought up, etc.
At people on my Facebook.
Amber.
Yeah.
Look what Seth just put in chat about meatloaf.
Oh my gosh. Seth.
I'll tell you, and I'll type it.
Yeah, well, Kelly gave it a go and it didn't go too well. Now, I've never tried it, but I guess mine can't turn out as bad as Kelly's did apparently today.
No, mine got.
I hope you're enjoying the meatloaf.
I've never had meatloaf either.
If it's done right, it's so good, but it has to be like a good.
Yeah.
My mom made horrible meatloaf, and so do I. I need to work on it.
Yeah, it's going to take some practice. Actually, there was a live stream of Andrew Hiltz cooking pancakes for his daughter, and you could hear this stove, and it was like cooking pancakes, and, like, people were in chat, and I was like, I had to comment. I was like, you should turn the heat down, because he was like, oh, just F that up for you, honey, like, all this stuff. And it was like he was like sauteing, like, shrimp. The noise that I was making, it's like, no, you're making pancakes. I was just like, but I couldn't stop watching. I won't lie. Like, I'm just like, what is going on over there? And where's Jose? Oh, but Kelly, I forgot to tell you, they allegedly brought a van and I think he mentioned U-Haul and then said that they turned around the same day. Like realized that they didn't get their house fell through and they couldn't get it and then turned around.
Wow.
And went back to New York.
Interesting.
But
And
don't mean I
Jose
know them
stayed.
personally.
Yes.
Okay.
Hang on.
Just saying. Because, just because I have people on my Facebook don't mean I know them personally.
So I don't know what that was referencing, but he was speaking to AB and he was pretty much saying, he's like, just because people are on my Facebook doesn't mean I know them personally, just saying. So I don't know if people were pulling up like friends on his friends list or something and like questioning him about it. But people, it seems here, whoever's on his friends list, he's like saying like, doesn't mean I know them. So I don't know.
Oh, he's defending his friends list. Basically.
Grown ass adults, what's up, Kay? So if you got another question, AB, feel free. Come on. Because, just because I have people on my Facebook don't mean I know them personally. Just saying.
So I don't know if there's like suspicious people on his friends list that people are throwing in his face or what.
Yeah, I guess I just have to see like how suspicious they are. Because I could see some people add whoever, or especially if you're gaming, you might add somebody and not really think about it. So
Right, true.
I can see that side.
I'm glad I've been able to meet you, listen to you, and
So this comment was interesting. Pretty much it says, I'm glad I've been able to, because he kind of fumbles a little bit. I'm glad I have been able to meet you, listen to you, and understand now you are not a suspect. Thanks for your time to this case.
understand how you are. And understand now you are not a suspect. Thank you for your time in this case. Well, I wouldn't have been a suspect to begin with, honey. So I was never really part of that. Miss Butts retext. I just did.
So he's like, I was never a part of that. And I was just thinking, a part of what? Like I've never been a suspect in this case because I was never a part of that. I don't know if he means like that small circle of the people who were surrounding Summer at the time she went missing or what. I just thought that was interesting.
Wouldn't have been a suspect to begin with, honey. So I was never really part of that. Miss Butts retext. I just did. Miss Butts, I did. But the thing about it is that I was never really. How did your Friday go with Ace? It got he's good. It was just a meeting about his medication. He's back on the right stuff now. That got postponed till April. I guess there's a little bit more red tape to be done.
So a little more red tape to be done as far as like court stuff. I'm not sure if he's talking about custody for H or just H's stuff that he's dealing with, but he never really elaborates more about when he said like I was never a part of that. Like he just starts reading like the next comment and never like elaborates like why he wouldn't be considered a suspect.
A little bit more red tape. I got to do things legal, guys. I'm trying to get my boy up here. Why am I a piece of shit? Claytown. You got Claytown.
Someone was trolling him
from
there.
Laura Still. It says, you need to be a decent human and tell H to tell the truth. He knows what happened in the summer. Don't you want him to be a decent person unlike you? He knows Summer drowned and her body is in the water at Warrior's Path. Well, you know, Miss Laura, still, you, ma'am, can piss off a fucking road. Yo, what's up, DW?
Well, I'm glad somebody's defending his son.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like he's trying to get H like for custody, and that's obviously not going to look good for Allie. Not that it's looked good for her, you know, thus far as being like the primary caretaker. Even though apparently they have shared custody, it just seems like he wasn't in good hands for sure with Allie.
Yeah, I just hope that H, I don't know, has a good life after all of this. It's just,
I agree. And
he's
there's
so
still
wrapped up
time,
in it.
yeah, for him to get, hey, Delaney, you know, whatever counseling he needs or whatever, if he's got things to get off his chest, you know, that's better to do, because the longer he carries on things, you know, it can turn into, you know, substance abuse issues and other things to kind of cope and mask, which aren't healthy. But these pictures here are from Rose's wedding that were put on the Crime Stories Obsessed YouTube. And I just like, interesting to see Grandis, you know, this young, you know, prior before her daughter going missing and her granddaughter going missing, before she had such like a harsh type of face, I guess.
She has a very harsh face, doesn't she?
Mm-hmm.
Right here, she does like, so that's Grandis.
Yeah, these pictures
she looks different.
Yeah, like not as weathered. This was a wedding. She wasn't wearing a dress, but she's still dressed up, sort of in like, I don't know, like it looks maybe manly.
She has
I don't.
she has like the collared shirt on.
She does come off to me as like, I guess I would say, like, nicely try to say like butch. Like she doesn't. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Just interesting to see. And then there was another picture from that video, and there's more. You guys can check it out. Rose's wedding. It wasn't like the best quality, but it's still interesting to see.
Wow, she looks just like Candace.
Yeah, they do look very similar.
The daughter Candace looks a lot like Candace as well, and Summer to me looks a lot like Candace. So they just have those very distinct cheekbones, and their features all look very similar.
Yeah, I see Candace in certain angles of Summer too. And I just wanted to add Rose's flyer because I feel like, you know, even it just needs more attention. And that this, even if, you know, people feel like, oh, it's been so long, they'll never find her. Like, I'll still share it and still talk about Rose, because the odds that this family would just have 2 random abductions happen like this, it needs to be brought up like constantly as a reminder, and kind of like our logic of the grand scheme of things, and how rare that is. I mean, it really is rare. And where are these, you know, missing people? Rose and Summer, you know, it's just disturbing. And Kelly, I added this for you specifically because I felt like in my pictures that I looked through, this picture was like a different quality than the one that we had shared prior, and it sort of looks even more like it is an earring. So do you guys in chat think that that's an earring in Robin's ear? Because
yes,
yeah.
It's a set that Summer gave Robin for, I think, Mother's Day. It was a set of earrings and necklace.
But then she tells, and again, does this really matter? Who knows? But it stood out to me that in the interview with Chris McDonough, she's talking about the necklace, and she says, and it came with earrings, but I can't wear them because my ears aren't pierced. She says her ears aren't pierced. And do we really care if her ears are pierced or not? No. But if she's wearing earrings that, in my opinion, look like they're pierced, not a clip-on, it's like, why lie about that? And if you can lie, it's like, I hate to compare NK, but NK lied about little things quick on the spot. And it's just like, again, who is Robin Lane?
I guess we can give her the benefit of the doubt that she just put it on and it's like maybe stuck in her hair. I guess if you look, you can kind of see it might not be centered on her ear. I don't know. That's weird.
Right. And it could be laying on her hair or whatever, but
to me it looks like it's an earring not pushed all the way in a hole. Like it's kind of like hanging out. Like they're super heavy and it's kind of like her hole is kind of like hanging a little bit. But
right.
The thing of it is like you said, why lie? And why lie about something like, I don't know. It's just like,
do you think she has an ear allergy?
Summer? Why does there have to be a lie mixed in?
Do you think she has some type of allergy that she can't wear earrings? Because like what? I mean, I don't want to seem shallow, but what adult woman doesn't have pierced ears?
Yeah, well, apparently it's frowned upon in her church.
Oh yeah, I guess I could see.
Yeah, like their jewelry.
It's not modest.
My grandma was in a church where one day, like, she just got rid of all her jewelry because they said they weren't allowed to wear jewelry. So anything can happen, I guess.
And that makes me kind of weary in the sense that Robin could be, and I'm not saying she is, could be brainwashed enough by her church that she would just, tell herself that she doesn't have, or she can't wear earrings or doesn't have her ears pierced, and then doesn't know that it's been contradicted or there's questions surrounding it. I just don't understand it, I guess. Like why people are lying for weird reasons.
Yeah. And then I don't know, there's some people who think that that's a clip-on or that it's not an earring. So maybe she's not lying, but I still think I don't fully trust Robin. I don't trust anybody.
Yeah.
Don't trust anyone.
I agree. Yeah. And unfortunately, I would assume that Robin is still a person of interest or suspect because they last said everyone surrounding the child, is a person of interest. And, she was around her and couldn't even remember if she had seen her the Sunday before she went missing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Saturday, yeah. She couldn't remember when she last saw her, but remembered, that's when the necklace and set came up, that she gave her that on Mother's Day.
Yeah.
And I'll go
before Mother's Day.
I'll answer Seth with how I feel. I don't think the church was involved, but at the same time, I don't trust anything they say either.
Yeah, Raybird, my sister has the allergy too.
So does mine.
And it is very possible, but then she should have been more clear then, because why now we got to go back and question her about her truthfulness and stuff. Like, just be clear.
Like, so can you wear earrings or no, bro?
Yeah, we need to see your ear hole, Robin. Oh my goodness.
Oh, yeah. But all right. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you both being on. I'll probably lay low for a little bit unless it's like a small edited video to put out. I'm obviously with the COVID, I feel very mild, but like I said, it's just, I think that's why I wasn't doing anything the last 4 days on my channel, because I just was like not with the energy, but I wanted to do this live stream. I feel like we got important discussion going, and I really appreciate you two coming on, and Alex earlier coming on, and everybody in chat. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll keep everybody updated, and we will keep sharing Summer's name. And eventually I wanted to say I will be reading the not discovery files, but the investigative report from Tom Grant in the Kurt Cobain case. So I'm going to be adding that to the channel too, in addition to, of course, Summer Wells coverage and other true crime. So thank you guys.
I would also like to request that we reconvene to do a live listening to Andrew and Benny tomorrow, or what they're going to be speaking on tomorrow. That would be interesting.
Yeah, I'd be down for that.
Because I think there are a lot of discrepancies, and I think if anybody knows something, it might be Andrew.
Yeah, I mean, anybody can bring value to this case if they have more knowledge or a way to get H to kind of loosen up and tell the truth on certain things. I mean, I don't know what he's told law enforcement, but you know, if he knows anything more about what happened to Summer that day, like I hope that, you know, his father can get something more out of him and not like coach him like his mother was doing.
Definitely. Yeah, not watching him.
Yeah, I just hope that they, in the background, have this case that is going to be a very solid case, and that they're just working on building it and it's taking time. That's my hope. And that, you know, even if Summer is not found, I hope that she will be, that they'll still be able to, with the technology, either clear people, like start clearing them, and and show us like, we don't believe they were involved because ABC. But then you look at Cody Bigsby, they're already saying, you know, Dad's, I don't know. I just want Summer to be found, and I want all the truth and what really happened to come out. And I'm hoping they're doing that, and they have a solid way to go with it.
I do believe in miracles, and I hope her birthday brings some kind of energy where something, you know, something of hers is something interesting, or something that's going to bring forth what happened to her out. So, you know, let's all hope that her birthday wish is that we find out where Summer is or what happened to Summer, and, you know, hopefully bring her home no matter the circumstances.
Yeah, I'll say an amen to that. That's,
yes.
You know. Well, all right. Then we will be in touch, of course, ladies, and everyone in chat and the mods, all that. Thank you so much, and we'll talk soon.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah,
Bye.
thanks for having me. Bye, everyone. Bye, chat.